Okay, we're gonna try to wrap this up because there's a lot of stuff going on here after this, real quick.
My second question is, how do you communicate? I'm of the opinion that the establishment, the status quo, the current global order brainwashes people every day all the time. So, what? I mean, to say to somebody, we don't need this financial system. You know, finance is the problem. Money is the problem. We need to get rid of that. When they hear that, they don't understand necessarily or think what we're thinking and know what we need. So how do you communicate to somebody when you're talking to them about saying finance is not the problem? Because they're hearing something different than what you say. When you say it, they don't hear it. You know, I'm saying that and they're going to themselves, what is she talking about? Well, everybody knows you can't deal without money. So how do you deal with that sort of thing? That's what I guess.
All right. Well, I'd like to answer that question because it's one that I deal with, and I've really worked hard at trying to look at. One of the most important things that we have to remember when we're communicating with others is that we don't want to declare anything to them. We don't want to tell them this is how it is. Exactly. Well, we're answering some questions right now, but I'm answering your question as far as how do you deal with people that are not aware. We have a majority here that are already aware. So we're answering questions in a sense where we're not trying to convince anybody right now. Or we're not trying to sell anything to anybody. We're not trying to use any methodologies on people to try to get them to think our way. Most of the people in here already think similarly. So that's how we're answering the questions as it is right now. Otherwise, I can get into the Socratic method and then deal with it in that fashion.
I think that it's a plausible question, mainly because, you know, she asks a question that basically is relevant to something you would deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
approaching the subject with a stranger.
Well, what I wanted to, that's what I wanted to get to. That's what I wanted to get to. And the way to approach a person about this is not to just tell them, hey, you know, the money system isn't working, you know, it's going to fall apart, it's going to be collapsed, blah, 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 blah. Our job is to inspire people to begin to think critically. Nothing more. Because the minute we go out there and start laying down the facts and laying down the numbers, they're going to go and maybe they're going to start researching and they're going to start to debunk that stuff.
At this point, I let people bring it up. I don't bring it up. I let them say something else. Well, you know what happened to my mother? You know, she had all this money, this $100,000 on a lifetime plan, and now she's a different person. We don't know what to do.
You just proved my point exactly. Okay? By letting them tell you that the money system is screwed up, then you can begin the conversation. Well, then you ask them, how do you intend? You don't just say, hey, well, you know, the reason why you're miserable is because the money system is all messed up. Well, whatever. Right.
The majority of these people in the country have a mindset. And it's like, that's why I started moving it up.
Exactly.
How can you get it down? Because when you use words like, the problem is our money system, they don't hear that.
Well, I don't use words like that. We use that
That's
because
absolutely right. It's little by little, really. It's important to understand. I have to answer this question, I really do, because, you know, as I said, I was the main organizer for Z-Day last year. So you know, probably more even than Mel or even anyone else actually in the room even, I have actually thrown myself to the wind many times and really gone really hardcore about trying to get people to really change their minds. And I realized very quickly that it's not me that needs to change their mind.
Exactly.
They need to change their mind. They just need the right information to do so. And that's really our job. Our job isn't to tell somebody, you know, hey, this is the way things are, and this is what we need to do about it. That is not at all what we need to be working on. As Mel was just saying, what we need to focus on is inspiring people to really ask the right questions. One of the things that I like about the way Peter Joseph has approached this whole subject is he says, if so, so what? So what I mean by that, if so, so what? If you accept that there are certain things going on in the world that are extremely bad for the well-being of the greater populace, then you realize that's so. So if so, so what? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue, with your day-to-day job, day in, day out, hoping to rack up a 401k and Social Security so that you'll be taken care of when you're older? Make sure that you pop out some babies so that they can make sure that they're taking care of you when you are no longer able to do so. Is it really just you that you need to worry about? Because that's not the case. We are all here together, and that is where we need to build our progress on. To get back to what you're talking about as far as how do you approach such subjects as the monetary system with strangers or even friends that aren't necessarily understanding to the ideals involved in, a resource-based economy. And ultimately, it has to come down to you understanding completely about the ideology that you're speaking about, enough to bring in enough information to the person you're communicating with so that they can make their own decision. As it says on the shirt for the Z-Day of last year, understand that truth is never learned, it's only realized. Educate yourself. There you go, right there. Truth is never learned, it's only realized. Educate yourself, then educate others, and learn to help each other. That's what it's all about. I can say that, this isn't about just approaching your friends or your neighbor. This is about something that really takes a dedication beyond that which most of us know in our day-to-day lives. We're not talking about, going and applying for a job so that you can, you can further your status in the social life that we live. Because it's understanding that it's more than just us.
Okay, Joe.
That is what it's about.
All right, we're running out of time, so I just want to try to get as many people in before we go. I don't mean to cut you off here, but do you have something to say, Steve? Rick?
Hey, Rick.
I know you by Ruru. Hey everyone, my name is Robert on the site.
I want to come to the interview, like Mel said, it's all about love. And I want to go into some numbers because we've had a lot of questions about how is this going to happen? Do we have the resources? We do have the resources. We have 12 billion people's worth of food, and still half the people in this world starve. There is no reason that should be. I have heard the figure that 700 terawatts of energy per hour hit the earth from the sun. This is but one type of resource that we can tap. Piezoelectric energy from fabric itself, by the vibration of a surface, you can generate energy. There are many ways to go about this. Mitsubishi Corporation in Japan has a fully automated car assembly plant that runs on nothing but solar power. It can be done. The machines are there, and I don't want to talk about secret government labs. I don't want to talk about some sort of wireless transmission, which can also be done. There is the ability to transmit energy through the troposphere using existing ions. It can be done. There is the science behind all this. The question is the people. There's greed. There is a whole lot of greed in this world. I'm a greedy person. We're all, at least on some level, small, but they're greedy people. And until that changes, we're going to see the exact same behavior. The same people struggling to get to the top, to get to that pinnacle of the pyramid and be that eye in the sky. And that's not going to change unless the people change. And oh, the people can change. Like Jacques Fresco has said himself. Like Jacques Fresco has said